Well, good evening, everybody. I got all my things done. Off to work here. Get a few hours sleep. Go pick up my son. But I thought hard. About John Carpay and what the Crown of Canada in the province of Alberta did. And, nobody picked up on it. No media really. Nobody could correlate. No Christians, absolutely none. Those are the basis of Jesus Christ. Nobody in the Old Testament could correlate the truth of what befell John Carpay in relation to Moses, the Old Testament story of Moses. And it was all about a man born into first class. The oldest story in Christian teachings of the Crown. It's the oldest one, not in world history, but it's the oldest story in Christian teachings of the Crown. Constitutional monarchies, class structure, first, second, third, and of course savage peoples. It's the oldest story fed to Christians since they're little. And the story, as you all know, is a little basket by Jews, savage people who were deemed savages by the Egyptians, who were the empire of old, and absolutely the constitutional monarchy of the time. This is going back 3,250 years ago, near 48 years ago. A long time ago, an old story carried to us for a very, very long time. And if you're a Christian, you had to have heard it. It's immortalized in Hollywood. And the savage people, the Jews of the time, sent a basket with a baby in it, because there was a prophecy about this baby who would challenge the divine human beings on earth, would try to bring the equality of the human being by the one true God not of this earth, a higher power. That's the story of God, biblical. And this baby would grow up as a divine human being in that first class system. That'd be Moses. He'd be raised by Egyptians in the family of all families, a crown signified family, the highest level of the first class, the divine human beings in the Egyptian world who would oppress all the Jews, would be the savage people. Now Moses, and now the story goes, he was brought in the first class, sworn to it, but he had trouble. He had trouble with the idea of subjugation, cracking the whip. And as the story goes, at one point, when a taskmaster strapping the slave who can't get up, who fell, he can't carry the stones, he's weak, he's tired, he's malnourished, Moses raises his hand and stops the taskmaster. That's how the story goes. In Alberta, Canada, we have John Carpay, a divine first-class citizen, the constitutional monarchy known as Canada, who one day decided, whether it's providence or not, that he would catch the hand of that ground first-class taskmaster, where he was high institutionalized in the first class. And he caught the hand of the taskmaster, said, "Stop whipping the slaves and the subjects. Stop abusing the savage people." First class didn't know what to think. Just like Moses, tried to convince him, those who cared about him and loved him in that system he was sworn to, just as Moses was, not by blood or relation, but because they wanted to keep the system intact. You have a divine purpose, you have a divine place in our system. Don't buck the system. And as we all know, one of the oldest stories in the Old Testament, Moses said, no, I won't crack the whip, I won't participate, I will free the people. It's the oldest story in Western culture, one of the oldest stories in Western culture, of the crown and its evil, its deviousness, what had to be stopped. John tried, like Moses did before him and many others in history, but Moses is the oldest story. And John resisted. He fought that crown. He tried to free the people, but unlike Moses, he failed. And this is what Canadians need to understand. Those in the West who think that bringing back the crown in a majority, that which grips the Democrats in the United States of America and many rhino Republicans, you've been contaminated by that crown you fought so feverishly to get rid of, to remove from the face of North America, at least in the country known as the United States of America, that you tried desperately since World War II to see abolished worldwide. But the crown has come back with vengeance. Like all empires from Egypt onward and all those who replaced her, including Rome, which is just another one in a long line, which became the UK, which now grips the United States of America, again led largely by the corrupted Democrats and so many rhino Republicans, pushed upon it by their closest neighbors, Canada. We've been that way all along. We defeated USA not in just one war, but 2 wars. That's a fact. Little old Canada backed up by 70 plus other nations. And we see that corruption reigning supreme. I know Americans struggle with that idea, but I can tell you all today that in the last 72 hours, a Moses-type champion based entirely in the Old Testament story of Moses unfortunately failed. He fell. And it amazes me that so many who perpetuate to be Christian, who study Old Testament, can't see the correlation. As the media prints the story like John fell and he lost and the crown wins again and he's a loser and he's this and he's that. But he resisted the whip. He didn't take the whip in his hands. He caught the hand of those who would whip as one of them, as Moses did. And now John, like Moses, has to join that period of time like Moses did and know what it's like to be third class. Will John rise above it? I don't know. I'll be there to support him, and I'll be there to educate. I'll be there to tell people as much as I can. And it's sad. I would hope that so many would see the correlation, the truth of it, and the very real reality that at least for Canada and what has a good grip of the United States of America, like the United Kingdom, which is still that way, so many other UN states, that they're gripped in that age-old evil that the allies of World War II promised the world never again. They said they would never allow that kind of evil to rise. But yet here it is, alive and well today. Here it is in the grips of the United States of America. Here it is under Joe Biden and so many rhino Republicans who like the wealth, like the power and have gotten real good at holding that whip. They like the feel of it. They like the texture. They like the sound it makes when it cracks against the skin of the American. It's supposed to be based in equality. Canada never has been. The UK never has been. So many constitutional monarchies never were and are never going to be free and equal. As long as they exist, the world will be contaminated, polluted. And stories like John Carpay's are just a dime a dozen. And at least for Alberta, if Albertans don't gravitate to that very real revelation and absolute overlap of John Carpay and the story of Moses, I don't know what to tell you. People say they're Christian or they have these beliefs, but do you really? In these years that he's suffered, the two prior to this, go look at his posts. 2 years of nothing. Go look at the Justice Center that he built, he crafted, he created. Nothing about anything that's really going on today. And it amazes me that people don't see it, that they shudder, they close their eyes, they put their horse blinders on, and they don't want to see it. And these people go to church every Sunday faithfully. They pray, they congregate, they tell everybody, oh, I believe, I believe, I believe. But when those very real revelations and stories come to pass, as they have so many times before, rinse and repeat, these stories based in the teachings of the one true God and the absolute quality of the people comes at you full face, and you renounce it, you shun away, like Jesus was when he said, you will deny me 3 times. And they all did. They all shunned him. They said, no, we won't. But they did. And that's humanity's weakness, their flaw. But it takes warriors and those courageous, those who believe that there is something better and that the world can be a better place, to shine a light of truth on it. I will. I'm there for John in his time of need. I'll be there when he's ready. And I will continue to teach. I'll continue to tell people these truths. I hope people share. They didn't make much of the last video. And it's really on you, those who profess to be Christian, those of faith, those who say they follow the Old Testament, they follow Jesus Christ. I challenge you, look at the story of John Carpay as it's unfolding. Look at the crown story of Egypt, that constitutional monarchy, that empire, and correlate it to every story of every empire in the history of the world, and what America represented that they said they would not do, that they said in 1945, never again. And where are they today? Look at it. People are wrong about Israel and where Israel is today. It's sick, it's sad, it's not Christian, it's nowhere near Christian based, it doesn't follow anything of the teachings of Jesus Christ. But if you want to look at a story right now today, the last 72 hours, the story of Moses taught to so many billions of Christians across the globe, and the story of John Carpay, as many before him, in a real revelation, a real overlap, a real sign. And you know what? Those who don't see it, those who don't see that as it is today, 2023, against that was 1271 BC, Moses, I don't know what to tell you. I pity you. I guess I pray for you. But to me, that's not enough. This time on earth is precious. We use it to do as much as we can, to instill as much good as we can. And I challenge all of you, do as much good as you can. If you have faith, I challenge you, go look at the story of Moses. And when his story, when he stopped that hand, when he controlled the whip, and he resisted it, as John Carpay has, how can you not see the correlation? How can you not see Canada for what it is? How can you not see that it's against everything of your faith? And it's not just Christians, Judaïsts, Muslims. I mean, how can you not see that as a direct violation of your faith? It's up to you. Share, share, share. Get it out there. It's real, it's credible, it's verifiable. John's been put to the same test Moses has been. He's lost his first class. He has a 3-year sentence to live as a third-class subject, reduced worse. In fact, all his rights and freedoms are gone. That which he championed are gone for the next 3 years as he serves probation. He is that which a First Nation or a Jew of Nazi Germany or a Palestinian of Israel today is put through. Void of human rights, defined as a savage human being. That's where John is. He's fallen far from that position that he's held, just as Moses did 3,248 years ago today. One of the oldest, absolutely the oldest crown colonial empire story held in the Bible, relevant as it was then as it is today. Challenge you to find your faith, find your Christianity, and share and read what's happened to John Carpay. Read what he's went through since 2021, the day he resisted the crown, the day he put down the whip and said, no, not my people, no more. God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm gonna get a few hours of sleep, head out, grab my son, and continue on in Saskatchewan, do a couple weeks of work. God bless. It's up to you. Bye now.